It's Wednesday, 6th of March, and you're back in business with me, Samina Hirani. We've got with us Pirojsha Godrej of Godrej Properties now joining in to talk to us about the demand for the real estate sector in 2013. Pirojsha, slowing growth has been hitting the demand in the real estate sector as well. So what is the outlook for the sector going ahead? Will the budget reforms help spur demand? We ask all that to Pirojsha, and of course Pirojsha is joining in right now. Pirojsha, what is it looking like right now when you take a look at the kind of demand picture that's playing out? And apart from that, we believe Godrej Properties has launched a project in BKC in partnership with Jet Airways. The project is expected to be completed by 2015, we believe. Pirojsha, tell us more about the BKC deal. How does it tie in with your commercial development plans?
Yes, we're very excited, as you rightly pointed out, to be launching our project Godrej BKC. This is a 1.3 million square foot saleable area project that we're doing in Bandra Kurla complex here in Mumbai. As you know, that is now the most desirable commercial office address here in the city, and we're quite excited to be launching this. This is a project we're doing in partnership with Jet Airways. They are our joint venture partner for the project, and we'll be sharing profits from the development in a 50-50 ratio with them. They will also be occupying about 20% of the building as their own corporate headquarters space.
Mr. Godrej, what sort of revenues will come from this and by when?
So the total project revenues we expect will be in the range of 3,500 to 4,000 crore. And we expect this to start entering Godrej Properties P&L probably by the end of this calendar year. And the reason for that is that we, like most developers, follow a percentage completion accounting method, which requires us to sell a certain minimum amount of area in a project and construct a minimum amount of area in a project before it can enter our P&L.
Pirojsha, just give us a minute, we'll come right back to you, but it's Ajit Singh, Civil Aviation Minister, commenting on that Air Asia deal.
Now, what kind of concerns are? See, overall, basically, we have a policy that airlines can participate up to 49% in FDI in any airline. Now, FIPB is meeting at 11, and they will discuss this whole thing. There may be some procedural problems, otherwise there are no problems.
So does the industry think that the FDI should be only in existing airlines, domestic airlines, and new joint venture should not be formed? That's not what the FDI notification says?
It doesn't say that new venture should not be formed.
Okay.
It lays down a procedure, but as I said, FIPB will discuss it and let's see.
But are there any big hurdles coming?
I don't see. No. See, whether they form JV before or they form JV after, the aviation ministry will still check on the what we check, we'll still check. We'll carry out the thorough checking and follow they have to take NOC, the DGC has to inspect, the directors have to be Indian, 2/3, all those things.
So beyond that, you don't see any major hurdle in that?
I don't see, as I said, basically there may be a few procedural things, but let FIPB discuss it and resolve them. Overall, I don't see any problem.
How do you see Air Asia coming into India? Because they are considered one of the aggressive airlines in Southeast Asia in terms of pricing and all, and considering you are trying to have a price bracket and to avoid cutthroat price competition.
No, we are not trying to avoid anything. The Competition Commission of India is already there, which looks at predatory pricing, you call it, anti-competitive pricing, so that's already there. We are not doing anything new.
So when you mentioned a few problems, a few procedural problems, what could they be?
Let FIPB discuss them.
Okay. Thank you.
Now that was Ajit Singh commenting on that Air Asia deal. Mr. Godrej, coming back to the sort of outlook that you have on the commercial markets, do you see a pickup in rentals going ahead?
I certainly do. I think the commercial market obviously has been a little bit weak over the past couple of years, but we think the outlook is actually very positive. And the reason we think that is a few-fold. Firstly, we think the Indian economy now has troughed out. The GDP growth has bottomed out and will start increasing from here. We think the reform steps the government has introduced, the activity and confidence that the finance minister is bringing back to the sector and to the economy as a whole is credible. We think interest rates have clearly already started to come off and will continue to decline over the next couple of years, all of which suggests a fairly favorable macroeconomic environment. For real estate and commercial real estate in particular, we think there is also the advantage of a relative undersupply that is likely to happen if you are able to forecast out 2 or 3 years. While in certain markets there is currently a bit of oversupply, as demand comes back into the market strongly, which we expect it will over the next couple of years, that supply will get filled up. And then what we see is that there are very few new commercial developments being committed because developers haven't seen great traction on current commercial projects. And we think that affords this project a great opportunity in terms of the timing window, where we will be completing this project at the end of 2015, and there will be no other project in BKC that completes within the 2-year time frame before or after our project. From 1 year before to 1 year after, there will be no other project completions in the area.
Pirojsha, what will be the mix for Godrej Properties in this new coming year between residential and commercial?
I think this was the big commercial launch that we had planned, and we're now, of course, very happy to be getting that underway today. I think our launch calendar for the rest of the year will be entirely residential, so we won't be launching any other commercial projects this year, certainly. And on the residential side, we will have a large number of projects that we're launching. We have new phases of some of our projects in Ahmedabad, in Kolkata, in Gurgaon. We'll have new projects itself, several here in Mumbai, new projects in Pune, Hyderabad, and elsewhere. So I think we certainly will continue to see a large number of launches for the company this year, and I think we're quite bullish that we will be able to continue what we see as a fairly successful track record of new launches that we created in 2012.
Pirojsha, do you also see pricing going up in Tier 1 and Tier 2 cities where you would be launching or rather have launched projects already?
I think prices have gone up across almost all markets. In our projects, for example, in Vikhroli, we launched the 3rd phase of our project in October of last year at about 40% higher prices than we had launched the 1st phase exactly 1 year before that. In Gurgaon, we sold 1 million square feet of our project, or nearly 700 apartments in a single day, and immediately took prices up by 25%. So I think pricing has not really, frankly, been the concern. And for us, fortunately, we've been doing very well on the volumes front as well in the residential side of our business. What has been a concern from a market perspective has been that residential volumes for the market as a whole in most cities are actually down year on year. And I think that, of course, is a concerning trend. My hope and expectation for this year is that price increases sort of keep pace with inflation, but that we see for the sector as a whole liquidity coming back in through large increases in the volumes. And I think that is a very realistic scenario for one to expect. There's a recent similarity, I would say, in 08-09, where volumes came to a grinding halt because of the economic crisis, but quite quickly recovered. And, in 2010 was one of the best ever years for the real estate sector. So it wouldn't surprise me at all with GDP growth picking up, with interest rates starting to come down, with corporate sentiment improving, to see improvement in real estate, particularly from a volume perspective.
Pirojsha, budget takeaway, any major impact on the housing sector?
I think, the budget as a whole, I thought was a reasonably positive one. I think it was a responsible budget, as the finance minister had committed. I don't think there were any huge big bang sort of reform announcements or something, but I don't really think that the budget is necessarily the time or place for those. So generally, I've been quite satisfied with the budget. From a real estate perspective, I don't think there was too much that will be of any huge consequence. There are a few things that will be positive. for things like affordable housing, for example, interest waivers on loans below 15 lakhs and so on will help incentivize the sector as is needed and will provide some benefit. There are also some things, however, that could dampen the sector a bit, like increased taxes on unit prices above 1 crore and so on. On balance, I don't think, frankly, that the budget we feel will majorly impact our business one way or the other for the year ahead.
Right, thanks Pirojsha, it's always good talking to you. We'll take a break on that note, but up next, ING Investment Management's Martin Beckham sees a potential upside in the markets. Back in business in 2 minutes.
There's concerns about elections next year and reform momentum has not been great. So over the last 5 years or so, I think India really has disappointed.